Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Shabomai. I hope everyone is doing great. Now I just wanted to make a little quick video and talk about how a lot of us are letting relationships that we have been in, that we have left in the past, affect us, and not in a so lovely way, okay? And this is something that I have seen happen, okay? This is something that has happened to me before, okay? And I just want us to talk about it because it's actively happening. A lot of us, when relationships end, we are stuck in the lifestyles our old partners introduce us to, the old habits, the way they used to do things. We simply allow our partners to change us most of the time, and not for the best, okay? We are left, or you are left, changed, but not in a nice, beautiful way, okay? So I want us to talk about that, but before we go into this entire video, please continue to make use of my clearance sale. Get yourself a bottle of my perfume, okay? Don't be shy, okay? So just WhatsApp or call this number right on your screen, okay? And you'll get to try out my perfume. We're on clearance sale, 50,000 for 100 ml bottle, and I did a whole video. If you're interested, check it out, where I talk about why I was doing the clearance sale on the perfume, okay? So basically I just want us to talk about the change, or the people we become after our partners leave, okay? Certain partners leave, okay? I do understand that, and personally I have been with people where I've altered my lifestyles for them just because I was with them, but once the relationship ends, I don't carry it on, okay? Because that was with them. And personally, one promise I made to myself after I tried, after I found myself when the relationship I was in had left me damaged, okay? Broken, okay? It had left me broken to a point I was like, oh my god, now I'll never be in a relationship. When you're contemplating of like, you know what, now I am going to go around and sleep around. And there are people who actively do that, okay? Or because someone cheated on you, or because someone slept around when you're together, now that you're alone, you'll also be like, I'm going to sleep around, I'm going to slut myself out because so and so did this, so and so showed me men or women are like this. Personally, after I tried that, I was like, that's not me. Because personally, okay? And I don't like the fact that someone, or I would allow myself to be changed by someone's actions. For example, let's say I was with a man and he lives, and he was all about no marriage, and I was like, okay, cool, we can be in this relationship. That does not mean that's me. When I'm done with the relationship, I'm going to go back to myself, okay? We need to normalize allowing relationships to end without having to change us, okay? Personally, I have met people who are like, they really don't understand commitment or monogamy because of the previous situations they were in, okay? Which I understand, but personally, I would never allow a previous relationship, a previous partner to affect the way I perceive life, or to make me feel like I can never be in a fulfilling connection with any other person just because you introduced me to that idea of, oh yes, I've been with a man who was against marriage, and I was like, okay, cool, because one, I was young, I wasn't really in a rush to get married, okay? But when that relationship ended, okay, of course there was too much casasilo, too many lies, okay? So that did not make me say, like, after the relationship I'm going to continue with his ideology of he doesn't believe in marriage. Why? That was on him. We did it, we tried it, that was on him. But when it comes back to me, when I am back to my individual as a person without that relationship, I want it. So why do we allow relationships and people to come in and change us in such a way. All I'm trying to say is we need to normalize Anyway, so personally, all I'm trying to say is we need to normalize relationships ending and letting people move on, and we moving on, you as an individual moving on, and not allowing the relationship to change you, okay? Yes, a lot of us also need to understand that we are individuals, and relationships beginning or ending should not take away your individuality, okay? Just because the relationship has ended does not mean you're going to devalue yourself, okay? Like, I've had people who are like, oh, I sleep around because the last person I dated made me hate relationships. I'm like, honey, heal. You can't be out here slutting yourself out when you weren't slutting yourself out before you met this person. Why would you allow someone who is no longer even in your life affect your decisions 5, 6, 10 plus years? Some of you, it's been 20 years after, and you are still affected and stuck in that type of mentality your ex-partner has introduced you to, or ideologies your partner introduced you to. So personally, I feel like I can never allow someone to make me feel like I will never get fulfillment. And this is something coming from a person who has been shown dust character development by men, and at a very young age, okay? So personally, I will never, okay, and I don't recommend it, because why? That is why you meet a lot of people and they're angry, okay, and they're like, oh my god, this person, they moved on, they're living their life, and I was left alone to pick up the pieces, okay? The problem comes in of they moved on, you refuse to move on, okay? A lot of us need to understand that usually, especially in the dating scene, when you're dating, people are actively experimenting, okay? So you would be surprised that, let's say, especially sexual lifestyles, sexual practices, things like that, okay? Usually it's all about an experiment, especially for the new couples, or you're just excited, just like any couple that would want to experiment, okay? Especially when you're still young, at a certain age, especially in your 20s, okay? So when your partner introduces you to that type of lifestyle, that does not mean that should become you, okay? Something you experienced with your partner should never become you. That's just my opinion, because I feel like a lot of us have let our past relationships, our past partners leave us changed, and not in the most nice, positive way, to a point that we have lost ourselves. Yes, he or she introduced you to sexual ways, or ways you can explore, or let's say an open relationships. Yeah, let's say you get into an open relationship, okay, and before you were never an open relationship person, but you know it happens, you meet this person and they're into it, or they're like, oh, let's experiment with an open relationship or an open marriage, and it doesn't work out, and they go and have an actual proper healthy relationship with someone else. Why should that leave you chained to open relationships? Okay? Yes, and a lot of you, let's say you go ahead and continue to do the open relationships, you will notice all the people you get into the open relationships with are going to leave you and go and receive the fulfilling relationships, the connections, and you are still out here actively living in your trauma from a partner. Yes, and a lot of us need to accept that some of the ways we live after our partners leave us, or when the relationship ends, it's just a trauma response. You're just traumatized, so work on it. Because me personally, there is no way in hell I will ever wake up and be stuck and let an ex change me, or make me feel like I can never get something fulfilling just because maybe I was open to an open relationship. No, honey, can never be me. Absolutely not. Okay? So, personally, every time a relationship ends, okay, whether good or bad, okay, I like to take from the fact that it didn't work out. Meaning, even everything we did, all the decisions we made as a couple, they were wrong. What do I do after that? You have, yeah, the relationship has ended. Grow past it, outgrow it. It's like a stage. Me, I see all my old relationships like a stage. You have to outgrow it, evolve it, and I make sure it does not change who I am to the core. I make sure it does not affect what I want out of life at the end of the day. Yes, because a lot of us, yes, we do get compromising in these relationships, and we're like, oh, you know what, now I can adjust to this lifestyle, we can probably do this. But once the relationship is done, honey, the decisions, the lifestyles, everything ends with you. Because guess what, I continue to be an individual, you continue to be an individual once that relationship ends. Okay, so please don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself because of a relationship, because it ended. I know it hurts to see a relationship you thought would go somewhere fall apart, but don't allow yourself to lose yourself because you are hurt. I know it's trauma, I know in our manga too, it hurts, but do not settle into it. That's why a lot of you watch your partners who introduced you to certain lifestyles move on without leaving the lifestyles they introduced you to, but you stay in the same lifestyle. Okay, and it can be hard to come to terms with it and face it. And yeah, I've been there, my guy, I have been. Okay, but you have to be willing and ready to move past it and understand, like, hey, okay, this came with this person, but at the end of the day, I'm my own individual and I'm going to go. Yes, if they introduced you to that lifestyle and they can go and be fulfilled, why can't you go back to yourself and get what you want or whatever? Because me personally, in my opinion, it's this: I will never accept or allow a previous partner or a previous relationship or the lifestyle we did in a previous relationship change me as an individual in what I want. Because a lot of us need to understand, especially in your mid-20s, late 20s, it's all about experimenting most of the time. Okay, so shed certain behaviors. Just because you had certain personalities or characteristics in a relationship, and a lot of us need to understand that during relationships we often take up our partners' characters, even our values slightly change to fit into. Yes, you know, you find yourself slowly morphing because you're in this relationship, you're with this person. You find yourselves or yourself at one point gravitating towards the same things at one point. Okay, but that does not mean that is who you are. That does not mean that is who you continue to become, especially if there are things that bring frustration. Okay, especially if there are things that leave you feeling unfulfilled, because it's happening. Okay, yes, like personally, in me, I will never sleep around because at you, the relationship ended. What? That's not me. That's not me. Like, I'm above that shit personally. Okay, so I am begging a lot of you, please stop allowing people to make you feel like you are undeserving. All I'm saying is, okay, I know it's hard. I know relationships are shit. Trust me, I know. I've had my own fair share of trash. Okay, but when it ends, please don't let it change you. Let's stop allowing people or their actions, these things of he had a baby on me, she had a baby on me. Don't let someone's actions change you. If you are going to do any change as an individual. Do change for yourself, and that makes you better as a person. Improvement, self-work. But don't be out here on these streets, okay, losing yourself because someone acted a certain type of way, or someone decided the relationship was no longer working, that they decided to build with you, things like that, because it changes us, it makes us frustrated. This thing alone can make your life very frustrating, okay? You find yourself being frustrated, you find yourself having to deal with emotions you have no business dealing with, okay? Yes. So because I've been there, okay, I've done that. All I'm just saying, I did it once, I tried it once, and I'm like, that's not me, because I can never allow another human influence or change the way I want my life or the things I want to get out of this life, because at the end of the day, I am an individual. So when that relationship ends, it doesn't take away my individuality. And a lot of you, I need to understand that when a relationship ends, it should never take away your individuality. However much you might have adjusted during the relationship and things like that, please don't go ahead and alter and completely alter yourself because of a relationship, especially a relationship you are no longer in, okay? Yes, please understand that you can live a fulfilled life, you can be happy. You don't have to live and settle into the ways of a relationship you're no longer in, especially that are affecting you negatively. Keep the positive things, don't keep the negative things. Keeping the negative things from your previous relationships hinder you from actually receiving the healthy relationships you deserve. Yes, you take away the chances of you even getting that healthy relationship you crave for deep down, because at the end of the day, we all want something that is fulfilling. At the end of the day, I promise you, that is if you are actually a normal human, you're not psychotic, okay? Yes, so that's something I wanted to talk about and share, okay? Because I know a lot of you are changing yourselves because of how the relationship ends, or how you know it. For those of you who are watching, okay, I'm here to tell you, don't change yourself, don't alter yourself. Stop losing your individuality after the relationship ends. You can regain yourself, you can continue, yes, comfortably, without negatively impacting or changing your life. Keep the positive things, the negative things have to be shed. You leave them in the previous relationships. If there were habits, if there were rituals that were from the previous relationship, the relationship ended, leave it in the past. Same way the person you are in with that relationship ended it and moved on, do the same thing, okay? Don't lose yourself because of a person or because of these relationships we get in this life. Yes, you're going to be angry, you're going to be miserable, you're going to start to hate yourself, you're going to be an emotional wreck. Don't give that type of power to someone who is no longer even in your life. Someone who is not giving you an orgasm, not anymore. You're still allowing them to affect you, darling? Absolutely not. Yes, move on, outgrow it, leave it in the past the same way you outgrew the relationship, both of you, and move on comfortably. Yes, yes. So that's something I wanted to talk about, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to get yourself a bottle of Escape the Ordinary by Tushawomwe. Please contact this number below, okay? And you'll get it delivered to you anywhere in Uganda, okay? Even Nairobi, okay? That's been it from me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you in another video. Don't lose yourself to anyone in this life. Do not lose your individuality because of a relationship. Okay, bye. It's a Saturday night. See you in another video. Bye.